Hi, my name is Laura. I'm here with Eduardo, and today I will be defining psychology, developmental psychology, and genetic foundations of development. This is for my lifespan growth and development psychology class, and these are the notes I will be going off of. So, to start off, Eduardo, do you know what the study of psychology is?
No.
Okay. Psychology is defined as the scientific study of the mind and behavior, which includes observable actions as well as internal mental processes like thoughts, feelings, and consciousness. It seeks to understand how and why we think, feel, and act the way we do.
So you're telling me the way I think could be different than someone else's way of thinking?
Yes, there are several factors that go into that. Our genes, which were passed down to us from our parents, our environment that we grew up, and also the way we were brought up. Um, we begin expressing emotions of both joy and fear from young infancy. From 15 to 18 months of age, we begin to feel pride, shame, and embarrassment. These are self conscious emotions. These are emotions which generally influenced by parents' responses to children's behavior. From 2 to 4 years, we begin to understand emotions. We learn the cause and consequences of our feelings. And by 4 to 5 years, we show an increased ability to reflect on emotions. So, as parents, our obligations include engaging positive caregiving and guiding children to become competent human beings. So, like you asked, is it different for me than it is for someone else? Yes. So, again, our genes that are passed down from our parents, our environment, and how we were brought up are all things that shape who and why we are the way we are. So, moving on, developmental psychology is the scientific study of how humans grow, change, and adapt across the entire lifespan from conception to death. It examines physical, cognitive, emotional, and social changes that occur through stages like infancy, childhood, and adolescence and adulthood. Developmental psychologist aims to understand these changes and explain factors such as genetics and environment and how they contribute to our development.
So now I understand why I'm afraid of the dark.
No. Or maybe. But so in life, we have family relationships, intimacy, friendships, and romantic love. All of these relationships shape us to be the persons we will become. So maybe being afraid of the dark might be something that happened in your childhood, and maybe that could explain it. Psychology studies how these relationships shape us and what other factors may contribute to our development. So, psychologists try to understand um, why people are who they are, what shapes them to be who they are, and there's a lot of factors that go into that. It's not just the neighborhoods we grew up in, it's also the relationships we had with our parents, the relationships we had with peers, relationships we had with teachers. And these are things that we have to think about for future generations and how they become the people who they are. And so we can learn about each other and how to be better people in society. So, the final definition would be genetic foundations of development. They're built on genes and heredity, which are passed from parents to offspring. Inheritance is shaped by interactions between genes and environment. So, our existence is who we are at birth. from genes that were passed down to us from our parents to the environment in which we grew up in. Of course, we have to say who we become, but a lot of it we have no control over. Our genes is something that's in our DNA from before birth. This is something that's given to us by both our mother and our father and our ancestors.
So, does this benefit my kids? Do I need to keep this cycle going, or is there no hope for me or my kids?
Does it benefit? It benefits you in the way that you have an advantage because you can see who your ancestors were and you can see who maybe your kids have a likelihood of becoming. So I guess it is an advantage for us to know where we come from and who we are. But then there's a lot of things that we have to teach our children, and these are things that they can pick up and it'll become part of their genetic makeup, which then they will pass down to their kids. So it's all related, it's all relative, and it's very interesting.
Interesting.